Okay, so we recorded 2 matches that happened after, but we're recording this now because I'm an idiot. So
it's okay. We're all idiots sometimes.
Actually, this is where I actually won my first.
You're just an idiot all the time.
This is where I won my first match. Actually, speaking of idiots, Jay Lethal versus Brody King. So number 1, Brody King is fucking enormous.
Oh yeah,
but Jay Lethal's reaction to a crowd back, he was crying.
Yeah.
And I legitimately sat there and I almost teared up. I think
he was the only one that reacted that way too.
Well, I mean,
I think that he was the most visible one. I think everyone kind of reacted that way, but he was the most visible.
He was the most visible one. Like, he had such a different reaction to everybody else where he was like crying.
Yeah.
And I can understand. I really can. Like, as a professional wrestler who wrestles in front of people where you just can't all of a sudden, it definitely changes your mood.
Mm-hmm.
And with Jay Lethal, like, oh my God. And we're going to talk about that when we make Pro Wrestling Majestic again. But the match itself, they built Brody King such a monster, and they needed this. Violence Unlimited needed this to be a pseudo squash match.
Right.
Which is what this was. Brody King dominated this match with two, I think it's called the guacamole drivers. No, Gonzo bombs. 2 Gonzo bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, boom, boom. Jay Lethal ate the pin. But, it was a lethal injection on Brody King for a 1 count. He took punches and kicks where he was coming into the ring from Jay Lethal.
Right.
He looked so awesome. And this is what Violence Unlimited needed. So bad.
And see, this is part of that whole thing with Violence Unlimited. It's not my opinion, it's just fact that they're becoming the dominant heel faction.
And we're really going to talk about this when we make Pro Wrestling Majestic again. But this match was great.
It was.
To showcase that Brody Lee switch.
Brody King.
Did I say Brody Lee?
You did.
I'm going to do that. I really am. I'm sorry.
I
can at least put that in metadata. So, anyway.
That's terrible.
Ad revenue. I'm just kidding. So, anyway, so when we come back, we're going to get back on track. All right, so how are we going to make Ring of Honor Majestic again? Let us start with this match. So, number 1, I like the match itself, but the orientation of the match was a very poor decision. This should not have been the opening match for the show. Period, end of story. Like, it should not have been. This should have been either the 4th match in or the 9th match in as a toilet break match. I'm sorry. There was not really a big rivalry going into this match. I couldn't care less about this match. It just was there.
Right.
I just think they want to do a Briscoes match, and it's like, honestly, the Briscoes at that point are a little overrated. Might as well have Jay Lethal and Brody King.
Brody King, Lee King.
Anyway, let's talk about the next one. I'm not going to really give too much fault in this because, number 1, I thought the match itself was fine. The rivalry.
Well, again, here's the thing about this tag team. Here's the thing about this. It was not about these 2 teams in general. It was about the factions that they were involved with.
Right. Violence Unlimited. Obviously, the name speaks for itself.
Right. And Los Inmamables.
No. The Foundation.
The Foundation. But Los Inmamables is part of that same team.
Los Ingobernables.
Los Inmamables.
It's La Facción Ingobernable in this company.
It's La Facción Ingobernable.
Just say La Facción instead of looking like an idiot. Anyway. LFI.
Yeah.
Just say LFI. Anyway, I thought the match was fine. So, given the circumstances of like the car wreck or whatever the hell happened with with Tracy Williams, and them changing it like twice, it was kind of weird.
Right, it was kind of weird.
But they did end up pulling off a decent little match. I'm not mad about it.
But again, the problem is that it was not about the tag teams themselves. It was about the overall faction.
Right. It was fine. So let's talk about... Okay. I really can't say anything about this. You can't make this any more Majestic than it was. It was a Majestic match.
It was a great match.
It was a great match. Great rivalry going into it. I love how they're really promoting Dalton Castle, saying, I have things to do. I have this and that. It was fun.
So Draper, Castle, and Isom, they're not a part of a faction, though, are they? Mm-mm. Whereas the other three, they are.
Shane Taylor Promotions.
Right.
They're part of Shane Taylor Promotions.
So you're giving the three... I mean, I love it because there's a depth to that tag team division.
Right.
I mean, it's not even a tag team division. It's a factional division.
Right.
So I think that what I like about ROH is that there's that depth. But let's talk about the depth. Let's talk about the women's tournament that's happening this month. Who made their debut was Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green made her first appearance, and she unraveled WWE in a sentence. And then she's like, I guess her arm is still hurt. I don't know how. I feel like they botched the surgery or something. But she still has a cast on her arm, so her match is the very last one. Here's the thing. So people are like, oh, why didn't they do a close-up of the Ring of Honor World Champion? Or the Ring of Honor Women's Champion? They're not done with it.
Yeah, that was a mock-up.
No, it was it was one of those toy replicas of the Ring of Honor World Champion. That's why I said that looks like a smaller version of the Ring of Honor World Champion.
But anyways,
because it was.
Anyways, Chelsea Green took a couple jabs at WWE, which we kind of expect at this point.
Whatever, because I guess she doesn't have any talent. Anyway, let's talk about Jonathan Gresham and Mike Bennett. Here's the thing.
Mike Bennett should have won.
He should have won. I mean, even though I chose Jonathan Gresham, I knew he was going to win, and that was based out of necessity of keeping the belt.
Jonathan Gresham is a great representative of the pure division.
But Mike Bennett had the story to go into this, and I think it would have been a great feel-good moment for not only him, but for the fans.
Even though Mike Bennett's a heel-ish.
Right.
Isn't Mike Bennett kind of a heel-ish?
He's kind of a heel. And Jonathan Gresham
I don't
kind
know,
of
with ROH, it's
They just don't want Jonathan Gresham to lose, but it's like Mike Bennett would have been the right person to do. Number one, he has a backstory. Number two, he has a talent.
There is going to be a rematch for
and he was really popular.
There's a rematch.
This would have been it. This is best in the world. This is their biggest event other than their anniversary show.
They're going to have a rematch.
Stupid. So stupid.
Stupid.
It was. Ooh, let's talk about this one. All right. So,
speaking of stupid,
why did they not give Bandido the moment with the championship? He beat Roosh
by roll-up.
I don't care if it was by roll-up. He beat him. Roosh is still a credible number one contender, but why didn't they give him that? I get it. La Faction Ingobernable should have attacked him. That's fine. I don't care. But why not have him have the belt? We did not see a single moment of the new Ring of Honor World Champion with the belt. None. Zero.
Besides him laying on the ground and
looking like an idiot.
Yeah.
He looked like an idiot. That is your main representative. Why do you look like a jackass?
Because reasons.
It's stupid. It was really stupid. This was the perfect opportunity to bring in somebody new. What about Kalisto?
Bryan Danielson.
Right. You had options. And the thing was, you made the wrong option.
And so you have all these people who are ready to go, who have been released by the E, and you have like fucking Bryan Danielson.
Ray Horus, you could have had Ray Horus come in there and even the odds and run people off.
Right.
Bandido should have had his moment, and yet you didn't.
Right. Yeah.
That was a crime. And I don't think Peanut Gallery is any contention. Number one, Bandido should have won in front of fans, but he should have had that moment with
He should have won with dignity.
He should have won with the belt.
Won with dignity. Otherwise, who cares? Bandido is not a world champion in my book. He's a placeholder for Roosh's third reign.
I'm very frustrated.
That's what it is.
And it sucks because Bandido is very good.
Yeah. No, Bandido is a placeholder.
Anyway, let's talk about the next one. So, number one, why did Roosh lose it, but then Dragon Lee win the Ring of Honor World TV Champion? Well, so number one, Tony Deppen was a replacement. That's literally what he was. As soon as Dragon Lee was healthy enough, he was ready.
Yeah.
So, maybe Roosh is hurt somewhere?
I don't know. That's weird, isn't it?
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe he's
that's the only reason that he could have won that that Bandido would have won that champion by roll-up. It was because Roosh was hurt. That's it.
That, or maybe he has a visa issue because he still lives in Mexico.
Right, but no, it's like, come on.
Nobody cares. Well, they fucking do. It's Ring of Honor. But anyway, so yes, Dragon Lee won the belt. Here's my thing. I really wish Tony Deppen won this because now Tony Deppen looks like a paper placeholder champion, and he's good
that's
enough.
all he's going to be.
Right. It's like, I mean, unless he does something great and wins it back, there's no way.
All right.
I just can't take that seriously. They just made a really wrong call with this. Wait until later for Dragon Lee to win this title back, or have Tony Deppen win the match again and have him defend against Dragon Lee again and then lose it then.
Right.
But I feel like with this quick change around, that was kind of what happened. Right. All right, once again, here's where I might have a problem. Let's talk about this one. Number one, I liked the rivalry going into it, and the match was fine, and I was not offended by it. EC3 looked great. Mm-hmm. And also, so the people were so behind Flip Gordon, and he slapped EC3 a couple of times and continued. Talk to Loogie. It was right there on EC3's cheek. I'm like, wipe it away. But anyway, why? Flip Gordon is going for the Ring of Honor World Champion at Glory by Honor
so why did
in a month. Why did he lose? EC3 could have faced anybody else.
Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that EC3 and Flip Gordon, they both should have won, but they should have won different matches.
Right.
You shouldn't have to make this. You shouldn't have to make this decision.
They've put themselves into this corner because they already announced that Flip Gordon was going to face either Rouge or Bandido for the Ring of Honor World Champion at Glory by Honor on Saturday. Why did they do that? This made no sense. They booked themselves into a corner. This is WWE level mistake.
Right.
Here's my thing. If they really want to do something like this, if you want to make this shit Majestic again, make it a number one contender match.
Right.
Then whoever won it, even if it was EC3, he would have earned his opportunity.
Exactly.
And then you had either Roosh versus EC3 or Bandido versus EC3. I would have been cool with either one.
You had the comeback kid versus Flip Gordon, and you already announced him as number one contender.
You already announced Flip Gordon. I thought he was going to win. I mean, why? What was the point of this? This was best in the world. Like Glory by Honor, you would have done this stupid shit if you want to do stupid shit. This was such a bad choice.
Right, it was. It was a bad choice, not for the match itself, but for putting these two together where they both had something to prove.
Right. Let's talk about this one.
That no one cared. So what about this? Why not switch some of the contenders for these matches?
Let's do Josh Woods and EC3 and then Flip Gordon and Silas Young and do that.
Exactly. And then Josh Woods and Silas Young are the losers for both of those matches.
Right. Or vice versa, or whatever they're going to do. Right.
But the point is that EC3 and Flip Gordon both get the chance to fucking win.
Right. Why? Why did they do that? And then, obviously, it was Josh Wood and Silas Young. They had a rivalry.
Right.
They had a rivalry going into it. The match itself was very, lackluster. It was a wet fart in church.
It wasn't very good.
It was a fart that you're not trusting. It was a fart.
Right.
So, it was what it was. I don't know what to do this. I would have done maybe something a little more personal, a little more intense. Maybe book the match a little bit differently, but that's a producer problem, not a booking problem. So, I loved how they booked this. I loved it.
Did we talk about this already, Jay Lethal?
No?
Oh.
No, we talked about the result of it later because we skipped over it.
So, anyways, Jay Lethal and...
This was the right call.
Yes.
By 100%.
Right.
Even though you chose Jay Lethal, Jay Lethal is already an established main eventer. He can lose him 10,000 matches. He is the Hiroshi Tanahashi of this promotion.
That's true.
He can go for any belt, no problem. He is a good person to go for the world title.
He was there to put somebody else over.
And that's what they needed to do with Brody Lee. If Brody Lee lost this, they killed Brody Lee.
Brody King.
I swear to God. I did that again. They did this so great with Brody King.
Do I have to, replace you?
No. Because you already have your own mic. I would have done the same thing on that one. It wouldn't have made a difference. But they needed to do something with Brody King to make him an established competitor. I'm going to hit you. So
How to push him out of the way.
right? So the problem is that Brody King needed this win. Jay Lethal did not. And they made him look so strong as well. They did this right. And I'm so happy about this. I wouldn't have changed a damn thing.
Right, and I think that covers all of our main show matches,
Except for demonic. So okay, let's do the hour one matches. Here's the one thing. I like this match. They did a great job. My problem was, why did they do it here? They should have built a budding rivalry between these two specifically.
I was okay with it.
They should have built a different rivalry specifically between these two and had this at Glory by Honor.
Yeah, I was perfectly fine with it, though.
Nah.
Yeah.
Now, this match should have been on hour one.
Danhausen and PCO are the next number one contenders for the Tag Team Championships.
Obviously. If they don't do this by Glory by Honor, a lot of people are going to be pissed. I'll be pissed.
Oh, there goes some more trash cans rolling around here in the wind.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very windy outside right now.
Yep, we're not putting our trash cans out until later. I don't care. I'm actually kind of curious. I might go out there and look at it later. But anyway, other than that, do you have anything else to say about any other match that we have covered when we make Pro Wrestling Majestic again?
Not really. I think you did a pretty efficient job of making Pro Wrestling Majestic again.
But I want to hear from you guys. Did you watch the show? Let me know what you think about it. What would you have done differently for each match? Comment down below.
I'm wrestled out for the week.
Yep.
So next week.
So we're going to do Slammiversary and Money in the Bank. Luckily, they're on 2 different nights, so we're not going to have an issue about streaming both of them.
We are still doing we're going to resume wrestling, and we're going to resume heckling.
Yep.
And we're going to go with that. We have a very exciting topic for our later in July. There's a weekend where we don't have any pay-per-views, so we're really excited about that.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys so much for listening. Follow us on social media. All of the links are below this video, and as always, boy,
Majestic.